Hi everyone, and welcome to another weekly video. This is me. My name is Martin, and I welcome all new subscribers from around the world and also my fellow traders right here in the Metro Toronto or GTA area of Toronto, Canada. This is where I'm from, and we're going to be looking at how to find winning trades using my new easy read charts. They're color coordinated, so we'll show you what that's all about in just a moment. And we're looking for trading ideas for this coming week, August the 13th to the 17th. Now, last week was an amazing week. I mean, it was pretty terrific because we had it was good for more than 1,000 pips, okay? And again, I'm going to show you some of those winning trades in this week's video. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is the disclaimer. Okay, it's important to understand that I do produce these videos for educational purposes, okay? I'm not trying to give you any investment advice. That's really up to you, and especially if you're trading money, trading with real live money, make sure you trade with no more than 1 to 2% of your overall account balance. So view this video at your own risk. I mean, a lot of the trade ideas are pretty amazing, and they do work out for for the most part 70%, 80% of the time. So again, watch the video, make your own decisions, and remember it's for educational purposes, and my main aim is to make you become a better trader, okay? Okay, as always, we start with the Euro USD. All the charts I'm showing you are the daily charts, which means that each candle or each price bar that you see here is 1 day's worth of price movement, 24 hours of trading, okay? And when we're looking at charts, I mean, the idea is to see some things that are pretty obvious. My easy read charts right here do make things pretty obvious as well because they are color coded to help you understand what is going on with price action. But at the same time, you really will have to learn how to see some obvious things, such as, take a look right here, price break below the trend line, and you can see charts do give you pretty good clues as to what's going on. So the very first thing is I want to show you is that price was going up and down in a channel. Finally, we had a breakout right there, but then it wasn't just a normal breakout. It was a breakout with volatility. Okay, you can see the two huge black bars over here, or bearish bars. Okay, so this was a pretty good impulsive move. I believe price is going to come down a little bit further to this area right here and then bounce higher. Okay, so if you think price is going to go lower, you could look at sells below 113.76. But when you get down to this area, I've got an up arrow here showing that there could be a possible bounce for sure above 112.77. So for the bounce, I normally would wait for a bullish or a white candle to the upside, okay? But again, this is the obvious thing that I'm talking about. So my easy read charts show you that we have pink below blue, which means we're in a downtrending pattern. This is a pullback here. You can see where price came up to this area. It never went higher. It's a pullback, and we could expect price to go down, but then it went sideways and then finally break out to the downside. So I do see a lot of downside potential, okay? And now we move on to the next chart, is the British pound USD. And take a look here. All along we were in a bearish downtrend. You can see here pink below blue. That's what the easy read charts do tell you. And things were going along pretty good. Then we started going a bit sideways here, and finally we had the breakout below the trend line. And again, you can see for the past week, again, this is last week's trading, everything from this red line to the right side, okay? It's last week's trading. We had one, two, you can see all these black bars to the downside. Now, they're not huge bearish bars. They're not any bars with huge volatility. It's not a huge impulsive move. So price could be slowing down, coming down to about here, and then coming back higher. Okay, and I don't mean coming all the way up here. Let me just redraw that. So coming back down and coming back up to retest the pink zone here, and then possibly down further again. So again, I'm looking at sells below 127. I'm sorry, below 126.38. I would want to wait for this. If you think price is going to go much lower, okay, let me just do that. If you think price is going to go much lower, I would wait until price comes down below 126.38 for a further sell. However, I would wait for price to come down a little further, rebound higher above 127.56, and that's why I've got the arrow here. So wait for price to come down first, okay, like this, and then come higher, and then look for buys above 127.56 on the bounce. Okay, so that's what this all means over here. Now we move on to the next one, Australian USD. You can see huge impulsive move to the downside on Friday. This is the last candle of last week's trading. Okay, and I believe price is going to come down further. I've got a level here for you. Price could eventually come down to here. Okay, and so look at you could look at taking sells below 0.7278, and for the upside, if you think price is going to go higher from here, then you could look at buys above 0.7383. Okay, so that's that. Now last week, I took a sell trade on the British pound USD. I'll go back to that chart for a second, and it was a sell below 129.76. Okay, 129.76. I've got my cross here, which was just about there. Okay, you see, so I took a sell right there and got out with this candle right there. And that was good for 78 pips. Holding on to the trade for a couple more days would have given you a further 99 pips. So in all, this was really good. This was a good trade to take. Also going back to the Euro USD, take a look at this. I did post on last week's video a sell below, let me just take a look, 115.46. okay, take a look on the right side here. Okay, 115.46, which would have been right about there. Okay, right there. So price go back up a bit, but did come down, and you would have made a lot of pips there. Okay, so back to the Australian USD. You can see that's coming down further. The next chart I'm going to show you is is gold. And gold has been holding sideways. So you can see all last week, the candles were very small, down, up, up, down, down, dojis. So basically price is going sideways. We're in a sideways here. And what you want to do, if you're going to have a play on gold, let me just do one thing. Okay, I'll draw a trend line here. So you could wait for price to break below here before you take a sell trade, or if price goes higher, wait for price to come up to here and take a short buy. But remember, the easy read charts show you that we are in a downtrend, pink below blue. So we're only really looking for sell trades. That's what the smart trader would do. However, we've come down quite a ways. You can see all these lower lows, and eventually price has to start making a reversal. Okay, so that's why I say if you look at this above this area right here, you could look at a reversal trade. Okay, let me just take that off. And finally, the easy read charts are color coded. Okay, and I'm going to switch from the regular black and white, black meaning bearish, white meaning bullish, to the easy read colors, and you can see we're in a pullback because these colors indicate pullback. So we're waiting for a sell primarily, but we could also be looking for a reversal to the upside. And so that's what you get with the Easy Read charts, and I have a course which you can find more information about. I've got a free ebook you're welcome to have just by emailing me. Okay, you can get the email address at the end of the video. Now we're going to go to New Zealand USD. Another thing is when you're looking at charts, you want to see some obvious things, and I've mentioned this already a couple of times. So one obvious thing here is pink below blue. You're looking for sells here when price goes up again, but you still have pink below blue. This is a pullback. You're looking for a breakout. There's the breakout right there. Okay, again looking for a sell trade. Okay, so that's pretty easy. That's what the Easy Read charts show you. Now we move into a sideways pattern, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're looking for either a breakout to the downside or a breakout from here to the upside. In this case, breakout to the downside would have made some great pips. And last week, New Zealand, the New Zealand currency was one of the weakest, and you could have made a lot of money playing the New Zealand currency against some of the cross pairs, as well as this one here, New Zealand against the USD. Okay, so for this one last week, it actually gave you, if you would have played this right here properly, you could have made 132 pips based on last week's. I had a sell below 0.6706, 6706 up here. Okay, so again, you could have taken the sell. Let me just a second here, get my crosshair tool. So I said 6706. Okay, look at the right side, 6706, right about there. Okay, so right there, that was my suggestion for last week. On the New Zealand USD, I said take a sell possibly below 0.6706, and boom, that was good for 132 pips. There you go. USD CAD. Okay, again, you can see on this one with down, up, down, up. I believe it's going to go higher to again retest this upper trend line. Now, quite often in my charts on these weekly videos, I do put on these trend lines because I'm showing you the possible target areas or where price could be going to. And in this case, I'm looking at buys above 131.56. Okay, sells below 130.34, but I believe price is going to go higher. You can take a look here. My Easy Read chart shows you green bars, green over here. So we're looking for buy trades. And let me just take that off for a second, and I'm going to switch to chart colors. You see this candle with the big arrow. This is a momentum boost reversal signal, and it shows good, really good momentum. So that's why I believe price is going to go higher. But again, beware that the first target is right there. The second target is right there if price breaks the upper trend line. Okay, now US CAD, what comes after that is oil. We normally talk about oil because the Canadian dollar is tied into oil. And you can see we did break these trend lines I've had on the charts for a few weeks now. Like you can go back to my previous videos. You'll see these trend lines, and you can see price did break, went up to retest, came down heavy. So we see this is a big clue, guys. This big black candle shows that the sellers are in control. Buyers tried to bring it up, but we have pink below blue, and I believe price probably could come down a little bit lower, although I just want to show you we are at support. So we need price to come down below here, okay, for you to take a sell trade on oil. Okay, so now we move on to the US Swiss franc. Let me take that off. And here it's just sideways. You can see last week's trading, we really didn't go anywhere. And take a look. Here's a huge clue. Take a look right here. There, the blue line, which is the short-term momentum, and the histogram bars, they're almost non-existent. So we have short-term momentum sideways. And here, take a look. There are no bars at all. So basically this pair is just sideways, and we need a breakout above here to go higher, so that's why I posted this. Look for buys above 0.9985 and sells below this level here, 0.9867. Okay, so we've got that out of the way, and now we move on to the US Japanese yen. Same thing here. Last week though, we did have a bearish pattern form, okay, although take a look, we are at support, okay, so we need price to break below 110.36 to give us a better indication that price will be heading down. So I've got that there, and if you think price is going to go higher, look for buys above 111.55. Right now here again though, we got the blue line pretty well at near zero, sideways, and you can see here very little bars. This indicator, this second one right here, is long-term trending indicator, and it shows there is no trend. There's no downtrend, there's no uptrend. Here you can see it's sideways. Okay, so for us to start a downtrend, price has to come below here, okay, below this area from here, and then we could say we have a new downtrend forming. But right now it's just sideways. So hopefully you're learning not only from looking at the charts, but also understanding the jargon or the words that are used when it comes to describing price action on the charts. Okay, now here next chart is the euro British pound. You can see the euro British pound again, and it's very clear, and I've drawn these trend lines in for a while, but you can see price went up, up, down, up, down, up, down. I believe price is going to come down lower. With this Friday's trading, just the last black bar, which was last Friday, we closed below this line right here. I call this the speed line. So I believe price is going to come down lower, okay? But however, you would have to wait until price clears this area. So look for sells below 0.8876 to the downside, okay? And for the upside, you want to wait for price to come above 0.8986. Otherwise, in between here, there's no real play. Price could come down to this line here and then come back up. And if it does, if you see a good, nice white candle to the upside, I would take a buy. So this could be a good reversal area right there. This is the euro British pound daily. Okay, now we move on to the next chart. And after that, we talk about euro Japanese yen. Now, this should be quite obvious. Again, that's sort of the theme for this week's video. When you're looking at charts, you've got to see things that are pretty obvious. So, what's obvious about this chart? Price came down in a big wave in May, okay, and toward the end of May, bounced higher, came down again, came up, and as soon as it turned around right here, you draw your trend line, okay? So we have a low, we have a higher low. So as soon as you have two lows, draw your trend line and then watch what happens. If you're a long-term trader, like an end-of-day trader or a weekly trader, then you wait to see what happens here, and finally price did break lower. That's where you would be getting in, right? My easy read charts though showed here was a reversal, here is an uptrend, green above blue, and here when you see only blue, let me take that off, only blue, we're sideways. This is called a momentum squeeze. So here you wait for a breakout to the downside or a breakout to the upside, okay? In this case, we had a breakout to the downside. You could have waited. Seeing this big black candle here, you could have gotten in right there, and you would have made these pips. So last week, you could have made some pretty good pips if you would have gotten in there. Based on my suggestions for last week, though, my levels did not work out, but looking at it here, you would have, if you would have gotten in there, you would have made some pretty, oh, I'm sorry, the euro Japanese yen, I'm looking at something else. Yes, this was a big winner last week, so right there, this was a big winner. Let me just take that off. I did have a sell below suggestion for 128.62, so sell below 128.62, let me get my cross here. 128.62. Take a look on the right side. The levels 128.60, 64, 62. Right about there. Guess what? Getting in right there, or just below my level, my posted level from last week, would have given you all of this a good close to 200 pips. I mean, how easy is that? So I had that forecasted last week. All you have to do is watch my weekly videos, and you know, at least I'm trying to help you understand what I'm seeing. And if what I'm seeing makes sense, then you can kind of follow as well, as long as you remember to trade with no more than 1 to 2% of your overall account balance. Okay, so here I believe price is going to go lower. Look for sells below 126.33, and then price, I believe, could come all the way down to this area and then bounce higher again. Okay, so it could bounce. Look for buys above 124.50 as price comes down and goes higher. Okay, and finally we move on to our second to last chart, the Euro Audi. Here, look for sells below this level right there, 155.66. Buys above 157.55. Now you can see again, pretty obvious last week. Let me just take this off. Price was going in a wedge, or in a channel. Okay, up, down, up, down. Finally, we had this breakout right there. Okay, we had this breakout, and you can see what happened. Now again, price is going sideways, so again you want to wait for a breakout. This is sideways again. Okay, so you look, that's why I say look for sells below 155.66. Okay, and finally our last chart, and I believe I played this last week personally as well. I believe on this one pair I made about $1,200, 1,200 Canadian dollars myself, because last week I said sell below 144.30. Okay, so 144.30, that's right. Take a look on the right side. Okay, so it's right about there. Okay, so let me just mark that in. So I did have a sell right about there, I believe it was. Let me just get my crosshair tool. 144.30. Yeah, okay. So I basically, in my last week's video, I said you could look at sells below 144.30, and again using my crosshair tools. First, I closed my position. I entered right there. I closed it right there at the bottom of this big candle. Okay, so I closed it. And I made 128 pips. So it was, like I said, over $1,200, but holding on to it for a couple more days would have given you another 134 pips. So you know, this was a really good money maker last week, and for this week I see a continuation to the downside, and then possibly a bounce right here back to retest the speed line as it comes down as well. But you can see pink below blue means we're looking for sells. However, now it's come down quite a ways, so be aware. Price could turn around any time, but right now I'm still looking for sells below 140.86, and if it comes down to here, I'm looking for buys above on the rebound 139.34, or instead of using the word rebound, we could also use the word a bounce off this area. I've drawn in this line right here, which indicates long-term support as well. Okay, so that's the British pound Japanese yen chart. Hopefully you're getting some pretty good information. Hopefully you're understanding what I'm talking about. The easy read charts are pretty good. Okay, they're all color coded. You can see we have bright pink right here, so momentum to the downside is very strong. Pink over here, blue line below zero. So short-term momentum to the downside, long-term trending indicator to the downside as well. Sellers are completely in control, but be aware that sooner or later price will turn around. Okay, so giving you my levels, giving you my thoughts for this coming week, and wish you all the best trading. Take care, and we will talk to you again soon, and see you again in next week's video. Take care. Bye for now.